with cerebral palsy, on the autistic spectrum and other health-related issues, Poppy's reality has been a lifetime of hospitals, procedures, and a world that really wasn't built for her. But Poppy didn't just want to survive her story, she wanted to use it to help others who felt invisible, misunderstood, and lonely. Sounds like a challenge, right? How do you create a voice for the voiceless when society sees you as the person who needs help, not necessarily the one that's actually giving it? And that's when Poppy realised something important. Her struggles aren't a weakness, no. They're her superpowers. Every hospital visit, every procedure, every moment of feeling different had given her something absolutely invaluable. Perspective. Today on the show, Poppy launches Access Granted, her very own podcast. And not just any old podcast, a bit of a movement. Because sometimes the people who've been denied access their whole lives are exactly the people who know how to grant it to others. Let's get talking, shall we? How are you feeling?
Yeah.
You looking forward to this?
Yeah, because you've got to remember, I've had a podcast ruminating in my head for years, but because I've been in college and school and various other things, I've never had time to do it.
Well, how long have you been thinking about it?
Oh, years.
Okay.
So that's why I've got so much in my... That's why I'm already making Instagram content, because I get struck by a bolt of inspiration, and then I head into the Instagram Reels, and off I go.
So tell us how your ideas around Access Granted with Poppy originated.
So I was, to be honest, a disabled, slightly lonely teenager. Because you can be in a special education setting, like I was at the time.
Yeah.
But feel very isolated. But a lot of people like to believe, oh, you're surrounded by people in wheelchairs. Like yourself, you should feel like a load of company.
Somehow you fit in.
Yeah, yeah. But because I'm a mixed bag of disabilities, basically, that's how we're going to put that, because it's the easiest way to put it. There was no one on my cognitive level to really connect with.
Okay.
So therefore, I was surrounded with people with the same physical needs, but not with the same interests, cognitive level, learning level.
Sounds like quite a bit of a lonely place to be at times.
Oh, it was lonely. And only made the loneliness worse.
Right.
And so I would turn to the internet. People like Chloe Hayden, who is an incredible autistic actress in Netflix stuff.
We need to put a link in the description. I've always wanted to say that.
Yeah. I found that their Instagram advocacy pages, and I thought, these women are disabled or autistic like me, but they are reminding me that just because my autism might not present as everyone else's does, that I may not be on the higher end of the spectrum in terms of needs, that it didn't make me any more or less autistic.
Oh, I get it. It's one of those silent potential disabilities.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give people an obvious indication just by initially meeting you or categorising you with other people.
Yeah, because I've that's the thing with me. I've never really fit into a certain category of something. I've always kind of danced to the beat in my own drum of that. I get these very classic labels put on me because they do fit me, but I just don't present it the way.
What would some of those classic labels be?
So my main classic label, I like to say main because I have a collection, I've collected them over the years, and this one I don't dispute, but I have quadriplegic cerebral palsy, which is a brain injury that's caused to me by premature birth. Mm-hmm. And that means I can't walk or use my hands very well. But I've had it since birth and I've adjusted well over the last 20 years.
Bless you. It's one of the things that I've actually, I know you, you know me.
Yes.
One of the things that has taken me, not by surprise, it's almost like a pride in you, is the fact that your disabilities are not your identity, nor have you made it. I never hear you complain.
No, that's never been me. If anything, that's something that, because I have seen a couple of therapists in my time, if anything that therapists have said, you need to cut yourself some slack and allow yourself to say, you're allowed to say that it's a bit rubbish sometimes. You don't have to keep up kind of this.
Pretense.
I know we talk a lot in social media sometimes about like toxic positivity, but I feel like that was the mindset I was really in.
So what's toxic positivity? That's a phrase I've not heard of before.
As in, people promote positivity, but it applies to almost every single area of your life. So even if something's going rubbish, you still have to find the silver lining in it.
Right.
Not for necessarily, in my experience, my own comfort, but for everybody else's comfort.
It's almost like a negative reassurance.
Yes.
And from a therapeutic perspective, that's not healthy.
No.
Well, actually, from anyone's perspective, that's not healthy.
No. And so that's what I'm currently working on, is allowing myself to have those times where it doesn't make me any less proud to be disabled if I have a day where I acknowledge that it's a bit rubbish to be disabled sometimes.
I get that.
Yeah.
So what do you hope to find, or who do you hope to find as followers with your new channel?
I just hope that the people who need that person that I needed to find me, where we're going to talk about the reality of disability. That's one thing I don't do, have never done about my disability, is sugarcoat it to anyone, because my opinion is, why should I, kind of, because I find when I'm sugarcoating, I only do it for other people's comfort, because they're uncomfortable with the truth of what my disability means.
I guess you were saying, when you meet people for the first time, it's their discomfort as opposed to just treating you like a human being, which you bloody are.
Yes.
And then you find yourself, a bit like that negative reassurance, you then find yourself limiting how you behave with them because they're uncomfortable.
Yes, and I almost sometimes have to feel like I have to almost give other people a pat on the shoulder when I talk about my disability.
They're there.
And I have to comfort them and go, they're there, my life might be different, but it's all right,
you
know.
We can both get through this with your discomfort.
Yeah. Like, I'm not uncomfortable with my own disability. I've done the whole accepting thing, blah, blah. And, side note, but when people go, oh, how do you do it? I'm sorry, but respectfully, I don't have a choice.
That's it. That almost feels like a bit of an insult question. How do you do it?
Yeah. And I'm always so polite when I respond. I go, oh, thank you. As in, I know what they're trying to say. They're trying to say they find me inspiring, which I have a weird relationship with the word inspiration anyway, because I'm like, I'm not inspiring just because I picked up a cup of orange juice and drank it earlier.
Yeah.
Again, that's you as an able-bodied. That's your sort of, if she can do it, I can do anything kind of complex.
It's interesting. I did a podcast recording with Jamie just a few weeks ago, and he was talking about the hero complex.
Yeah.
He said that some people might be able to climb Mount Everest with a fridge on their back. Other people might have cancer, and they didn't have a choice. That's different. Yeah. And it's choosing your battles and choosing how you profoundly define your own challenges.
Yeah.
And in this respect, I think what you're saying, correct me if wrong, is I am what I am. My disabilities don't define me. I'm not brave because of it. Maybe challenges that might be seen or deemed as brave is, I don't know, starting a podcast channel.
Yes.
That's inspiring because it's difficult for anyone, right?
Yes. And I do believe that my disabilities don't define me, but I do believe that a lot of my experience I've had because of them shape who I've become today.
Absolutely. In
good ways. And in somewhat slightly, don't want to say negative, but in the slightly annoying ways as well, that everyone has with their brains, where you go, I wish I didn't think like that or work like that.
Give me an example.
So, going back to autism, I was, back in the day, I'm making myself sound really old when I'm only 20, but
you're such a wise old person.
Yeah, but back when they diagnosed me, back in, don't know the year, but back when I was 7, they called it Asperger's syndrome, the type of autism I had, which essentially back then meant you're autism without a learning disability on top of it. So basically it was the doctor's way of saying you're autistic, but you're intelligent.
Right.
And then recently it's realised, oh, that word might be minimising some quote-unquote high-functioning people's struggles, because just because they're not on the higher end of the spectrum doesn't mean they don't struggle.
As you were saying that then, I was thinking that example of meeting people in the street and they might be kind of over-exuberant with you, and then you kind of manage yourself and how you respond because their discomfort, then you're kind of changing yourself that discomfort. What sort of things piss you off?
When I describe my experiences and I've had people tell me, I don't notice your autism, you don't seem autistic, and nowadays I just tend to laugh and go, trust me, I am.
Do you think they mean it?
I think they generally don't see it, but once you know me well enough, you see it in integral, important parts of my life.
Yeah.
And on some days when my anxiety is specifically bad, because in autism, a big symptom for females especially is anxiety, sometimes to quite strong degrees.
Yeah.
And, you know, meltdowns can look like panic attacks sometimes. And that was me in my teenage and young adult years.
Yeah.
But because I can communicate, before that happens, they go, you don't seem autistic, and because I can communicate well.
And you communicate it and put a brave face on it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it doesn't bring any less about the experience. It's still going to happen.
Yeah.
But you're mature enough to be able to deal with it enough?
Yes. I'm mature enough to put it aside until I can deal with it alone by myself.
Yeah. What does access granted mean to you? Why is it important?
I think access granted for me is a way of giving back to the community that I love so much.
Yeah.
Because it helped me. So, and I you know, not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I've learned a lot and I know what I'm talking about when it comes to my stuff over the last 20 years.
Who in your niche do you look up to? Who are the people that you find inspiring?
Isabel Steed, known on Instagram as Izzy's Fight Against CP. Brilliant. She's a Reading Uni science student.
Right.
And she films what it's like to be a uni student with CP and go to uni daily with 24/7 carers around the clock.
She sounds inspirational.
Yeah. Yeah. And just people navigating not even CP, but any sort of physical or kind of neurodivergent challenge like autism that speaks from their own voice, because sometimes our voices get drowned out by all the mess of neurotypical people and non-disabled people going and it's like, hi, we're here too.
Yeah.
And it's changing, it is going in the right direction, but there's millions of people before us that came before us that have built the basic foundations we stand on now to even have the little bit of voice we do. So
that's so true.
Yeah.
Who are the couple? The married couple, the disabled chap and lady?
Shane and Hannah from Squirmy and Grubs, they are also brilliant. They have given me an insight into what, if I was ever to go into a romantic relationship, to what that might look like for me in my future. So that's helped me.
Brilliant.
And
in what aspect?
Just in not just myself, but I can bring it up sometimes, and if I'm talking about a relationship and I can see the cogs turning in people's brains sometimes when they're thinking how. Yeah. And also, like, they think, am I going to have to let her, as in me, down gently and let her know that? And so I just bring them up and I go, look, this is how they do it. So this is how I know that it could potentially work out for me someday.
Do you have an ideal man?
I would want him to be, because if you haven't already guessed, I am somewhat of a nerd.
I don't know what you mean.
You'll learn that I podcast more. I will go on for things I'm interested about for hours if people let me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I want a fellow, possibly neurodivergent nerd.
What makes you a nerd then? What's the things that interest you?
I read a lot. I've got books upon books upon books at home. I research a lot, including my own conditions and disabilities.
Yeah.
Just so that I have enough, just so that I can have all the knowledge I could possibly need in my pocket for educating other people or advocating for myself.
I was just thinking about where you're heading with access granted with Poppy. You really want to give back, don't you?
Yes.
You want to share everything that you've ever learned and know, not just about the disabilities, but about how you've got over personal, indifferent, small, big challenges.
Yeah.
And provide a platform where people can feel like they can learn something.
Yeah, and fit in, because I know what it's like when you're in that sort of, when you have disabilities, but they can't put you in one box of what kind of. So, for example, in special education, they put you in classes kind of based on your level of need.
Right.
So there's, for example, there's MLD, which stands for multiple learning difficulties, which is the class I was put in.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the, I hate to say it, but sort of the highest sort of intelligence level you can be. And then there is SLD, which is social learning difficulties, which
I should be writing these down. These are all new terminologies.
Which is, you know, children and young people who might have social, you know, speech or social difficulties in any which other way. And then sort of at the, I don't want to say bottom, because I've met some of these people and they're really funny and, you know, amazing to be around. But then there's PMLD, which stands for profound multiple learning difficulties.
That's a wide spectrum that probably a lot of people don't even know about.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you enjoyed from being at college and some of the courses that you've been? What's been something of a spark of inspiration for you?
So I should mention that I've been to both specialist college and mainstream college, and I plan to do a whole episode at some point in the future of the pros and cons of both.
And again, this is to help others when they want to make some choices.
Yeah. Both parents and students alike.
Ooh, clever.
Like you've got to make these choices together as a family unit, whatever that might look like. So,
and I guess a lot of people can forget about your autonomy.
Yes.
You know, I should imagine there are aspects of your world where people make decisions for you.
Yeah.
And maybe I was kind of hearing the people pleaser in you a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in some respects, it would be hugely beneficial for not just for you, but to get across to other disabled people to find the gumption and the power and the confidence to say no.
Yes.
To say what you want without fear of being judged or... Am I on the right path?
Yes, you are, because I am, hide it well, but I am a massive people pleaser down to the bone. And something I'm working on, work in progress. But yeah, I think a lot of disabled people, no matter how sort of well you're brought up, as in you can have amazing, fantastic, supportive family like I say I would do. I'm very lucky to have the family that I do. But I think you automatically get into this phase of, well, other people, because when you're young, other people rightfully do make the decisions for you just so that
they have
you get
to,
what's
don't they?
best.
Yeah. And that's not disabled people being singled out. You're young.
Yeah, and this is them taking responsibility for whatever your disability may be. It's making sure that gets dealt with and cared for in the right way.
Yeah. For some people, it must be hard to see that transition from you being a child to adult.
Yes.
That's a guess. But am I on the right path?
Yes, that's something I've struggled with. I will still ask my mum and my dad very simple questions of, even though I'm 20, I will still ask, can I stay up and read another few chapters of my book before bed? And they're getting in the habit of actually saying, you're 20, you don't actually have to ask me that.
What drives that? Is that you just having that confidence, or what's going on there, do you think?
It's me having reassurance that I'm doing the right thing, which I think comes from anxiety and also a little bit of autism, because for a lot of people with autism, we're very conscious about right and wrong, getting it right, and we don't want to get it wrong a lot of the time. So,
I guess there's the black and white aspect to it.
Yeah, so we don't want to make a guess and do something wrong. And this isn't just for people with autism, by the way. This could apply to people pleasing, whatever you like it to.
Yeah.
And so I still seek reassurance. So that's something I'm working on.
You know, our podcast is the relationship podcast,
Yes.
and we have to do the I before the we. And
Yeah.
I was listening then intently on how you hold yourself responsible to the work that you need to do for you.
Yes. I don't put it on other people because it's not them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do have to go to people and say, look, I think you planted this seed in my head. Can we talk it over so that I can sort of get the seed out of my head? But ultimately, that's for me to, once I've talked it out with that person, to deal with.
It sounds like you need to spend it. So
Yeah.
you've consumed this information. It could mean multiple things. So by talking it through, you spend the energy and the emotion associated to it, and then you can kind of let go.
Yeah, because it's hard to move on for me if I don't talk through things sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's because I get stuck in, like, mental loops. Similar to how some people get stuck in, like, OCD thought compulsions.
Yeah.
Where they can't, or, like, just a bit like intrusive thoughts, but not really. But it's just the same thought on loop of, like, have I done something wrong? Have I done something wrong? Or did I say the right thing, wrong thing? And that's just on loop in my head a lot of the time.
When you were saying intrusive thoughts then, I was thinking, I'm really bad when I'm in libraries. The first thing I want to do is shout.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm having this internal battle going, no, don't do it, Elliot, don't do it. I want to be the protagonist.
Yeah.
If someone listening feels different or isolated in a similar situation as you, what would your advice be?
My advice would be, honestly, it's going to sound really cliche, but just, for the school and college stages, just hang in there a little bit and find the people that you can trust to go to and cry, rant at, do whatever you need to do, because those people were my saving graces throughout those times.
Who would you name?
I've had a couple of brilliant teachers, brilliant deputy heads who I knew I could just go to his office, and if he was around, he would take 5-10 minutes to speak to me.
What was their standout character that made you feel safe?
They saw me as more than my physical disability.
Yeah.
They acknowledged that I have more going on than that I have autism and other things going on. And they acknowledge that there's more to me than just the physical stuff. And I think that's what's hard when you've got a physical disability and other conditions, is sometimes because your physical disability is noticeable, that's what people see. And so in my experience, my other stuff has kind of sometimes got lost.
Well, it kind of betrays you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Don't look at me in a wheelchair, because you're going to forget these other parts of me, or you'll never get to know me deeply.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people that support you, not because you need supporting, but because they're family.
Yes.
Right? And I was wondering what each member of family and friends and maybe carers, what do they bring to you independently?
I think my mum, she's
all right.
yeah,
She soldiers on.
But she's part of the reasons why I'm here is because early on in my condition days, she was the one doing all the researching, and she was in the Facebook groups back in the day of what they had, trying to find people to, like, other children to connect me with who also had CP and similar conditions. And, you know, she got put me in, like, parent-child support groups, and so she did the advocating first, and I now feel like that's my job as the person with the disability.
Perfect.
I carry it forward because she gave it to me, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a loving family, and I am just inspired by the support and the care and the genuine compassion for each other. And I'm sure you feel the same way too.
Yeah.
I like it that from what I do know, that some of the carers that come around to support you in the evenings, they almost seem like friends.
Oh yes, my carers are my friends. Because even though I'm now out of those slightly more isolating situations, I haven't quite found my tribe yet. Trust me, we're going to go on that journey together on the podcast. So you won't. So if you're still struggling to find it, you're not alone. I'm still out here trying to find it too.
So who's your ideal demographic for your podcast and YouTube channel?
I just want teens and young adults with disabilities, or parents or siblings or carers, whoever, to come and learn something or understand something better about themselves, their family member, their client, etc.
Well, that was going to be one of my next questions, is like, what would you hope that they get out of it? Because I'm thinking, we've got our own subscribers, and I'm hoping they're going to see, let me knit this together. I hope they see what you and I are doing as this isn't a deviation from what our show promotes.
No.
You're talking about doing all the I work, and you're talking about relationships, because the relationships, whether it's a fella in the future or your family now, you're learning to do less people pleasing. Well, that's not isolated to you.
No.
I see that in most of my client work. It exists everywhere. And I guess autism or ADHD or dyslexic or or whatever.
Neurodivergence is around more than you think.
Yeah, it's a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people miss it.
How do you mean?
As if when you know a person well enough, it kind of, they might introduce themselves. For example, they might say, I'm making up a name here, but hi, I'm Lucy, I'm 26 and I've got ADHD.
So it becomes their identity.
And then you're thinking in your head, okay, but you don't seem hyper or whatever, but you've got to remember that there's more to ADHD, for example, than hyperactivity.
Yeah.
It's being stuck in these thought loops that I mentioned earlier of, you could be having a conversation but thinking of 400 different things at the same time.
Can you give the audience and myself an example? It doesn't have to be a real one that's personal, but can you give us an example?
So I could be sat across from you now and I could be thinking about, what am I doing a week from now?
Okay.
I need to plan that. I need to know where I'm going, or I will have uncomfortable, annoying, sometimes anxiety that will send me into a meltdown for the next week if I don't know. So I'm constantly planning ahead in my head.
Does some of that fall into that demographic of this produces or defines some kind of security or safety?
Yes.
I'm sitting with two questions, and I don't have to do two questions or one question, because in some part you've actually answered it. What would your channel's success look like? People
commenting or messaging me that, again, as anyone who's connected to disability in any way, shape or form, that my content has helped them understand someone or themselves. And because the doctors can tell you, they can give you resources and they can sort of tell you what kind of your life or whoever you're supporting, what's that like. Like if you're in a supporting role, you can talk to teachers, you can talk to parents, but unless you are that person, you don't truly know what it's like to be them. And in some of those situations, say if you're supporting a person who's physically disabled in some way, I've been there, so I can tell you what those feelings are like. If someone asks me, what's it like when someone has to come in every day and get you ready for bed? Like, how should I as a carer approach that, for example?
You're coming at this from a really broad perspective, because you're not just coming at it from your own lived experience. You're thinking about the people that get influenced by disabled folk,
Yeah.
but also the relationships of family and friends and the carers, what to look out for. It's like a wealth of experience that you're in a position to now share.
Yes, yeah. And I do have, this is going to sound a bit like, people who maybe haven't worked in their industry or what might be a bit like, well, yeah, duh. But if you're a carer, please think of the person you're caring for as a human being and treat them as such. Now, the carers I work with personally, I have absolutely no problem with because I've known a lot of them for years. But I have had carers in educational settings talk over me when they're helping me with care, for example.
Almost like you're not there.
Yes.
I got aggravated then.
Yes. So did I.
Is that what? Is that one of those moments that piss you off?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a human being here, you can. Yeah. I'm in the room.
Yes. Yeah. And also, if your client wants to tell you something about their disability or their condition or whatever it is, but because you've had A, X or Y training, please try to be open-minded and listen, and don't think that you know everything just because you've had some textbook training from your workplace or wherever.
Yeah, you're saying this from an educated, knowing place, aren't you?
Yeah,
You've had this experience. Yeah. How did it make you feel?
Really irritated actually, and self-conscious, because for me it was about the way I eat. Because of my cerebral palsy, I don't have great dexterity, hand control, and my mouth was quite badly affected in the way that my muscles are. So when I eat, things can sometimes fall from my mouth. I can look quite messy after I've eaten. But the thing for me that is really good progress from when I was little is that I can feed myself, because we weren't sure if I was going to be able to at one point in time.
And that has to be like one of those major milestones of feeling like you're human. You can fit in and you've got self-control and it's all important stuff, right?
Yeah. And so they would say things like, oh, you know, you've got it all down you, you've got it everywhere.
As if you could help it.
Or like, oh, you're a mucky pup. And I would come from an educational standpoint, because that's where I always come from. I don't like to assume that people are being ignorant or rude on purpose.
Yeah, it's not their fault, but they're unintentionally being patronising.
Yeah. So I just said, I just explained I have cerebral palsy, so therefore that means everything I just previously explained.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, I know. And then I'd be like, well, you don't know because you've just brushed me off.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You can hear it, can't you? And I guess that leans into what you were saying a moment ago. Okay, you've had your training, you've done your class work, you've had your one-to-ones with your supervisor, whatever it might be. But the reality of it is that it's a bit like having a doctor. What do they call it? Good bedside manner.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't think you know everything.
Yeah.
Treat them as human beings, and don't make assumptions.
Yeah.
Or and be judgmental.
No, I think in care that is one of the jobs that you absolutely cannot be judgmental in.
Yeah.
No matter in what capacity you're caring, whether you're a nurse just generally in the NHS or working with disabled people specifically. I think if you're a carer, I just don't think from personal experience and also from carers I've spoken to who believe that there's not much room for judgment in their roles at all.
No, you're absolutely spot on. It's no different to the work that I do with my clients. No. If I were to judge a client, I could really consider myself a bad therapist. Yes. So, no, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no. Would you say there's almost no space for that in your practice?
There's zero space for it, yeah. There's I think there's 3 core conditions that are true in all therapies are unconditional positive regard, empathy and congruence. Yeah. And if most people could have the opportunity to just learn those 3 from a basic perspective, I think it would bleed into possibly the work that you're talking about and the carers. Yeah. There you go. That's a bit of feedback for anyone listening.
Yeah.
Some of those 3 core basics.
I just felt like if I just felt like I had to say it because
Yeah.
I was like, because it annoys me, and I'm like, I've got a platform here where I can say it, so I said it.
Thinking about our next episode, it sounds like you've got a bit of a potential talk track on various subjects, but what would you like to do next?
Next, I'd just love to kind of, you can always put what you'd want to hear about first down in the comments. But I would love to dive into certain subjects. So I want to go deeper on what cerebral palsy is because I haven't had time to cover that whole spectrum today.
Yeah.
I want to go deeper in how autism affects me personally and other people in the world, especially women, because that's the place I'm coming from. And again, I want to do pros and cons of special education and mainstream. So if you're interested in any of that, please come hang out with me.
You heard it first. Please come out and hang out with us. And I think that this setup, I would love to donate more time to the cause.
Oh, thanks.
And maybe I could come and do a podcast in your setting as well. And I'll just bring one extra camera.
Yeah.
I'd like that. It'd be fun.
Yeah, no, we should do this again.
The only thing that's really different today than my first supportive role in helping with edit number 1 that went out on Instagram. Is it on YouTube as well?
Yeah, it's out on YouTube. It's out everywhere.
So is the lady in the green dress. Our show comes with a free lady in a green dress.
That's me.
That's me. I don't see her anywhere, do you?
No. The lady in the green dress is...
She comes free in every episode.
Yeah, she does. The lady in the green dress is my mum, for clarification.
I should have got her to bring a green dress and she could have done a quick cameo appearance.
Yeah.
Thank you, Poppy. You are a superstar.
That's right.
I look forward to doing the next one with you.
And also thank you, because I will just say, and don't cut this bit out because it's flattering
All right,
you.
okay.
I will just say that I've had the ideas for this podcast for years, but the only reason that I have equipment and cameras and things is because of you. So thank you.
My pleasure. The investment and pleasure was all mine.
Thank you.
Good. How was that?
Yeah.
Right. There you go. Is FOMO kicking in? So for anyone listening, Mum refuses to leave the studio.
Yeah, she's there watching me.
I'll let you know when we're done. What do you want, Pops?
What do I want? Well, I do feel a bit uncomfortable talking with you sat there as if watching my every word.
I'm looking at my phone. Just get on with it, will you?
Oh, for goodness sake, will you just go sit in the living room for me one time?
It's really hard to talk about you when you're in the room.
I won't say anything bad about you, I promise.
Well, if you do, I'll edit those bits out.
Okay.
It's recording.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Go and make yourself comfy. There you go. Go and enjoy yourself.
I love you.
I think we successfully ganged up on her then. Oh, bless her. Do you think she just felt like she was really missing out then?
I mean, if she did, I can be sympathetic, but then also...
This is about you.
Yeah.
This is not about Mum. Oh, it's mine. I know him.
Yeah, he looks familiar.
Yeah. Okay. Is that in a comfortable spot? Because I'm wondering if I could just... If I lifted it up a bit.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how, you can brush up to it, you can sit back, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But as long as it's kind of...
In the mouth vicinity.
in the general vicinity of the pie hole.
Yeah.
That's the important bit. Anyway, this is just Coke, by the way. Cheers,
No,
everyone.
I know. Cheers.